Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kaplan Field. It is a lovely Sunday afternoon. We are set to host today's afternoon's contest between the Mount St. Mary Knights and the Vassar College Brewers. I'm Lucas Stackpole. With me in the booth is Bob Hauk. Bob, what are we looking for in today's contest?
Thank you for having me back, Lucas. I'm excited for this contest. It's a gorgeous day here in Newburgh. See the gorgeous mountains of Beacon right across the river once again, and we are back at it. Today, I'm very intrigued by the fact that Vassar is coming off of a 2-0 victory yesterday, so they've already played a game this weekend. They're playing a doubleheader on the weekend. The Knights have had 1 day of rest, so I'm excited to see what happens.
And of course, we were here Friday night where the Knights suffered a 6-0 loss at the hands of NYU. Bob, if you're the Knights, how do you come back? I mean, obviously NYU is nationally ranked. That was a big theme of the broadcast on Friday. But a 6-0 loss is still a 6-0 loss. You know, what do you think went into yesterday's turnaround time to go into today's contest?
I think yesterday was just trying to reconvene the team and get together and be ready for today, because you're playing a team that's already played a game this weekend, so I think it's just coming back ready to outwork your opponent. And if you're winning those balls back and you're outplaying the opponent for the open space, you're going to win.
And one thing to note is first-year goalkeeper Juliana Awashko is in net after a standout second half in Friday night's game against NYU. We did note that the starting goalie for that game, Elizabeth Nan, got work done on the table. Whether that's injury-related or performance-related, that's subjectivity. But Bob, what can we expect from the freshman goalkeeper today?
I'm hoping to see a lot more good stuff. I think a lot of the same stuff. We were actually just talking to Mr. Iwashko, her father, very nice guy. Would love to connect to the community for this game. Very excited to see what she does today.
It's really easy to connect with the community when your broadcast booth is a folding table on Powell Avenue. a lot of foot traffic, so we get a lot of compliments. Thankfully, no hot mics yet. Knock on wood, but
let's hope for the best. And I'm very intrigued, Lucas, because today the Vassar Brewers are actually not starting Alice Crowley, who was last year's leading goal scorer for their team. She played 21 matches and bagged 12 goals for the year.
Both teams huddled up on their respective ends of the field, no doubt, ready to get ready with today's contest. And Bob, we were talking about this before the broadcast. It really is just a lovely afternoon for some soccer.
It is absolutely wonderful out here. It's sunny and 70, a little bit of a breeze, nothing too crazy. Hopefully the wind won't be too much of a factor today in our commentary.
Well, yeah, the wind really bad was Friday, and light breeze, nice enough to keep Bob and I cool, but not loud enough to ruin the listening experience for any of you. So surely we can't complain up here.
If I could direct our viewers' attention to the middle of the field, standing over the ball is number 21, senior forward from Coronado Island, Riley McGrath, who is a poli-sci major, and she has bagged a first half brace yesterday, so she has 2 goals in the season so far, and she might be the hot hand this weekend to look out for.
And so from what I discovered, a brace for the folks at home is scoring 2 goals in a game.
Yes, a brace is 2, a hat trick is 3, and 4 is just a really good day.
4 is a really good day at the office.
Some might call that a rout.
So McGrath about ready to kick it away. Beautiful Sunday afternoon from Newburgh, New York.
I believe I'm looking at both teams in some form of a 4-3-3, but we'll see how those operate throughout the match because every team has different tactics through different formations.
The referees with the classic stop and wait for someone else to do something. Whistle blows, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to party. The Vassar Brewers and the Mount St. Mary College Knights. Once again, I'm Lucas Stackpole. With me is Bob Hauk. Working it towards midfield, sends it back towards, that's number 6, Cecilia Wagered, commiserating, figuring out what to do with the ball, sends it to the near sideline, that's Jessica Bowman. Bowman for Nihei, the Honolulu, Hawaii product.
That's an interesting one.
Looking over the roster, Vassar has pull from all over the country, lots of different locations.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking at Michigan, I'm looking at Pennsylvania, California, Illinois, Missouri, Florida, New Jersey, all sorts of different places. So a very, very diverse team.
We were talking about Mars on the broadcast, not to be Mars, Pennsylvania, not to be confused with Mars, the planet. That, of course, being Matty Wolf, Jr. Throw in along the far sideline. And Bob, for Friday night's contest, I mean, the Knights just were stagnant on offense. What kind of adjustments do you think need to be made, and what kind of adjustments do you think will be made?
As a non-expert as a couch coach, as one may say, I would have to say personally, I think you just have to look at the work rate and to be able to pressure the ball more.
Solid pass upfield. McGrath giving chase, headed towards the corner, guarded tightly by Maria Baldwin. McGrath works it into the corner, looking for a centering pass, makes the turn, gets around Baldwin, centering pass, that one kicked away by Nakarado in the box. High, still anyone's ball. Mora gets a head on it, there's a clash for it. Kicked off and out of bounds, that's number 10, Caitlin Schotter. So a little bit breezy. Jessica Bowman on the throw-in for Vassar. Gets it in. A little trouble with the bounce. Rebecca Rodriguez unable to handle it. Rodriguez, one of 4 captains on the field for Vassar this afternoon. Lily Brigman, Riley McGrath, Lindsay Nihei, and Rebecca Rodriguez. Mora gets a foot on it, unable to corral it. It'll stick with Vassar. Working it upfield, Lucy Hart. Hart sends it towards the far sideline. Working with it now is Lily Brigman. Brigman for Panarelli. Whistle somewhere. Is that an offside, Bob?
Yes. Yes, it was.
So an offside for Vassar, a little over 2 minutes into the contest. Set to kick it away from the Knights from the far corner, I believe is Maria Baldwin. Baldwin sends it away, past midfield, giving chase is Tanko. Her and Nihei collide. Nihei comes away with the ball. That one kicked up. It's on the Knights side of the field. There's McGrath. McGrath right around midfield. She'll leave it for Rodriguez. That one picked off. Good job by DeLeon Portillo. That pass picked off. Picked right back off by Rodriguez. So teams trading places early. Can she stay on side? No, she cannot. Riley McGrath with a fast break opportunity. Just can't quite stay on side. And Bob, that's the second offside call in 3 minutes for Vassar.
Yeah, it seems to be the Mountains working hard in their offside trap to make sure girls aren't getting in behind with free reign against Iwashko. You have to keep if you have a first year back there, even if she's having one hell of a day, you have to keep her comfortable.
Mora giving chase now. It's for Mount St. Mary near the end line, near sideline. Getting a foot on it is the defender Bowman. Nobody comes away with it. Bowman working near sideline. Vassar looking to get it out of harm's way. Bowman along the near sideline. Guarded closely by Mora. Bowman sends it upfield. It's McGrath.
Another one.
Another offside. That's 3 early. And we noted that NYU was trying to do this a lot on Friday night. And the dump and chase method, just see if you can get the ball far out enough in front of Mount St. Mary defenders to have your player go and catch up to it. NYU had a lot of offsides, and that's 3 already for Vassar.
Absolutely, and when you're playing on a turf field and the ball bounces the way it does, sometimes you just have to let one eat and see if you get a bounce that goes your way.
Sending it upfield, there's nobody home. It'll go the way of the Brewers.
And if I may add, I do not believe Vassar's playing their best 11 today, as they're sitting their top goal scorer, and they did just play a game yesterday, so I believe the Mount does have to take advantage of having a secondary roster out against Vassar today.
Lindsay Nihei, well, I mean, that does not so much having a secondary roster. It is just easy to play a team on the second day of a back-to-back.
Yes, I take it back, not secondary, but a team that is not fully fresh, yes.
There's Mora putting work on the ball. Unable to come away with it. That ball's still loose. Good effort there from the freshman Isabella Barone. So both teams still about 5 minutes in now. So both teams still just trying to find their footing on offense.
Absolutely, and a much better start than Friday for the Mount. It's always good when you don't concede a goal in the first minute.
Bowman, the near sideline for Rodriguez. Rodriguez sends that one out towards the middle of the field. It's McGrath in pursuit. McGrath out there with Panarelli and Elena Valley. Lots of work to be done here. Vassar, again, being very methodical with their passing. Neither team with a scoring opportunity yet or anything close. And the early offsides have really come back to bite Vassar a little bit, because surely those would have turned into good opportunities. McGrath can't quite corral it in the box. It's still bouncing around. Taking a fall is, I believe, Valley again. We're way downfield. And that one will end up in the hands of the goalkeeper, Laura Shea. Shea for Bowman.
And there was a really hard press from Tanko there. I'd love to see that this early in the game.
Wager fires. Over the head of Baldwin, giving chase is McGrath. Can she stay on side? Nothing yet from the refs. One-on-one. Good defense there from Faith Welsh. Has to get the ball out of harm's way. Does so. So it'll stick with the Brewers, but a solid defensive effort there from Faith Welsh.
That's a great play. And when you're facing a poacher that the other team is trying to clip balls into the box for, you have to make sure your center backs are on cue.
Thrown in, Valley. Gets it back to Bowman. Bowman to Getson. Back to Valley. Valley fires. Good save. That shot on target there from Brigman, but Iwashko there to knock it down, and we're still scoreless. First shot on the goal of the game for either side.
And we'll add it to the tally, and we'll start the day.
Legendary. Iwashko sends it away. Right around midfield.
Good punt.
Splits Hansen and Tanko, neither one able to come down with it. Vassar back to the drawing board here on offense. Wager, Tanko in pursuit. Wager sends it away. Off Welsh. Karam's off Welsh. Somebody trying to come down with it. Tanko does. Tanko leaves it for Hansen. Hansen upfield for Mora. Mora giving chase. Off the head. This could be something here. Mora works her way inside the box. Can't you get around? Fires. Centering pass, nobody home. Barone now sent it straight up. Rodriguez plays it off the foot, guarding tightly by Nacarado. Nacarado will become a really good offensive effort from the Knights here. It's something we didn't see on Friday.
Looking like they've got a completely different step today, Lucas.
Rodriguez leaves it for Getson. Getson abandons post. Bowman comes and picks it up. Bowman for Wager. Wager leaves it along the far sideline for Nihei. So the Knights had Vassar on the ropes for a little bit there.
Yes, they did. I was very impressed by how wonderful that ball was. That was some phenomenal service from the wing to cut that across the field and switch sides. Moore was almost there into the back, but you just have to find a foot if you're crossing into an open space like that.
So that ball ends up out of play on the far sideline. It'll stick with the Knights. Welsh to throw it in. The intended target, Tanko, appears to have lost her footing. Coming away with it uncontested is Lindsay Nihei for Vassar. Nihei for Wager. Wager working along the back third. Surveying. The Knights not in a press, but I mean the ball is still well deep within Vassar territory. Wager fires away. Good defense stop there from Barone. Baldwin playing it now. Tank. Sorry, Bob.
That's okay. And the Mount has to be careful for that ball over the top because I could just see the body language and the eyes from the defenders looking for.
And here's a chance here for Vassar. The Knights want offside call, and they'll get it. And you can just add that to the running tally. That's 3 now for Vassar.
And as I was just saying before they jumped off sides once again, there's been a lot of body language and eyes looking towards McGrath in the middle. So you can see it's very obvious that they're trying to feed the striker up top.
I mean, that's this. I feel like of the 3 offsides, I feel like the first one and just this most recent one, those were viable scoring chances. Tanko now, that ball's loose in front. Oh, collision in front, that ball's loose. And we have a whistle. There's a collision right out in front of the box between Laura Shea and Lily Tanko. The ball was loose. Shea looked like she went to go kick it away and just whiffed.
Yeah, that was a tragic one. And as I was saying earlier with turf, you have to be careful with the bounces. The ball will go in any direction it feels like going on turf.
So it feels like the Brewers catch a little bit of a break. The ball takes a friendly bounce, but I mean, as is usually the case in most sports, as Wager sends it downfield, I mean, it's taboo to put your hands on the goalie. Another offside.
Yeah, often that's as in hockey, it's the quickest way to start a fight if you're going to touch the goalkeeper.
And neither team has looked perfect. I mean, obviously that's an unrealistic bar, but I mean, Vassar does look flustered. I mean, we're about 10 minutes into the contest, and 4 offsides, 1 shot on goal. They really haven't, it feels like, been able to find their footing yet.
Yeah, it really seems like they're trying to get that over the top to work, and they just keep jumping off sides here. I would say that the Mount is playing a really, really good, tight offside trap to not let them get that in behind ball.
There's Welsh to send it away over the head of Tanko. Vassar quickly comes down with it. Ball bouncing around towards midfield. It's anybody's possession here. Coming away with it is Valley for Vassar. Leaves it for Rodriguez. Rodriguez, the far sideline. That's Ponarelli. Ponarelli waltzes in. Ponarelli gets a shot off, centering out of play. Looked more like a centering pass. There was just nobody there to get a body on it. That'll end up out of bounds behind the end line. It'll be a goalie kick for Awashko.
It looks like there was a delayed run they were looking for, and it just didn't get home.
So Awashko to send it away. Second, I believe, shot on at least the net for Vassar. I mean, I'm not entirely sure how you'd score that, but in theory, it was a shot. It's Barone for De Leon Portillo, picked off there by Bowman. Bowman for Rodriguez. Rodriguez works her way around the defense. Is going to leave it for Hart. Hart back for Wager up near the booth. Here's Rodriguez now. Rodriguez centering pass. That one nicely done. Picked off by De Leon Portillo. Back to the drawing board for Vassar. Here's Getson. For Hart. Hart takes out the ref.
Took a full tumble and right back up.
Well, the ref doing everything he can to get out of the way of the ball. Getting a rousing applause. Oh, they score!
Wow.
So we're so caught up in the referee taking a dive. Vassar waltzes inside one-on-one. I believe that was number 10, Gianna Ponarelli. Just one-on-one usually favors the one with the ball.
Yeah, that just came against the run of play. I mean, you hate to see a goal get conceded like that where I'm watching a wave happen on the Vassar bench here. That was impressive. That was very coordinated. You just hate to see that come from against the run of play the first 12 minutes here. Still a close match. I don't think it's anything to hang your head about for the Knights.
No, of course, but now, now if you're the Knights, like you said, and we talked about this a little bit Friday, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. 12 minutes into the first half, it's certainly not a lopsided affair by any means, which you could make an argument for it was on Friday. But, neither team is in the driver's seat. It's just Vassar manages to draw first blood.
And Panarelli actually the second highest goal scorer last year, so it is par for the course to see a tallies woman getting a tally in a match.
Vassar with the ball deep in their own end, just trying to figure out what to do with it. It's been a lot. A lot of methodical ball movement, and it's clearly worked.
Of course, and as I was talking about last match, from my limited expertise, when you're running a 4-3-3 or 4-4-2s, you have
Nacarado, good job working her way inside, taking McGrath's lunch money, quickly taken back. That's hard.
It's so important to keep that possession and create your triangles for passing.
There's Panarelli now putting the moves on Welsh, gets caught up, loses the ball. It's a 2-on-1 there. Panarelli works it all the way back and will send it towards Vassar's side of the field. It's Wager. Wager has Shea on the near, Shea's the goalkeeper. Wager has Bowman here on the near sideline. Bowman now guarded by Mora. Right around the midfield line, she'll send it back for Wager. Wager surveying, sends that one downfield. Wide open there. Here's the chance. That's McGrath. That one kick save. Awashko will have to get it out. Good job there by Welsh.
Unbelievable save from Awashko there.
Good defense there from De Leon Portillo. Awashko with the kick save, and good job. Really good job by Welsh just to get it out of play. Team effort there from the Knights. Solid defense there.
That's such a difficult save to make for Awashko, and that's so impressive as a first-year striker going one way, shooting the other, having to stop yourself and make the foot save fully spread out.
Of course, we're talking about the broadcast. Awashko being a freshman, this is her first career start, and 15 minutes into the contest, she's been up to the task.
Absolutely, I've been very impressed so far by this start for Awashko.
Rodriguez putting the moves on Nacarado, gets around. That one poked away by Schotter. Collision there between Brigman and Hansen. Welsh patrolling the end line, centering pass, nobody home. Baldwin sends that one into the seats.
And I can't help to notice, Lucas, when you're running a 4-3-3 like the Knights are doing, you have defensive midfielders and infielders. They're plugging up these holes to try and take away the through ball, but it's really difficult when balls get sprayed into the midfield and they have no support to grab it.
And so Vassar with their second throw in what feels like 2 minutes. That one out past the end line. We'll see where the refs decide to spot this one, but a lot of time in the attacking third here for Vassar, and Mount St. Mary has bent but not broken.
And I believe we're getting the first corner kick of the game for Vassar here.
We'll see what they drop, and just Vassar again, these last couple of minutes, a lot of possession in the attacking third and nothing to show for it yet.
With two standing over the ball, so they might get a little bit creative here.
Sends that one away, that one towards the middle. Mora gets a foot on it, and that one ends up out of bounds, and I believe we'll do it again.
You're putting a lot of Claret jerseys here in on the goal line, so I would not be shocked if you're looking from a delayed run from outside the 18.
We'll do it a second time. That one a lot higher than the first. That one bodied up by Getson. Still loose out in front. Getting a shot off his heart, but that goes well to the left of the net. And out of play.
And a good sign there from the Knights to be able to maintain set pieces. That's always a huge part of defensive shape, is whether or not you can maintain your form.
And that pass quickly picked up by Rodriguez. This could turn into something. Guarded tightly by Nacarado. Gets around De Leon Portillo. Leaves it for tip and out of play. Nicely done by Awashko.
As they might say in hockey, the goaltender's on their head right now.
Gianna Panarelli, the lone goal scorer already in today's contest, gets another golden opportunity. Nicely done by Awashko to redirect it out in front. But for a team that gave up a goal a few minutes ago, and Vassar has spent a lot of time in the attacking third since then, I am impressed with the defensive response from the Knights.
Yeah, absolutely. As the corner comes in here.
That one catches somebody in front. It's still loose, and it is saved. Awashko knocks it down. There's a pile of bodies in front. Looked like it might sneak in there for a second. Awashko falls on it, and it's still 1-0.
An impressive form there from the corner kick again. It's really, really impressive from a defensive side when they can maintain corner kicks and not concede.
And now if you're the Knights, I'd like to see him, turn some defense into offense. I mean, since giving up the goal, that was really an impressive defensive stand.
Absolutely, and I think you got to see your midfielders and your defensive midfielders start pushing up forward here into open space to get opportunities for your strikers.
Tanko thought about picking it off. Elects to play defense, guarding Nihei closely. Nihei for wager. That pass picked off by Schotter. Schotter surrounded by Maroon. Schotter gets around. Nihei slides, can't get it out. Bowman guarded tightly by Mora. That one still in play. Mora now uncontested. Mora waltzes in, fires. Takes a bounce, and it's wrapped up by Shea.
That was a great service there, just couldn't find a foot in the end.
Good job there from Grace Mora. I mean, Jessica Bowman lost her footing, and Mora saw an opportunity and took it, walked it in alone, lined up a shot, just ground ball save for Shea.
Absolutely, and those balls that are spraying away towards the sides are so difficult to deal with on the touchline because frequently the defender is going to try and get around it to blast it off of whoever the attacker is that's pressing them.
Shea fires. Barone gets a head on it, can't corral it. Now here's McGrath, guarded tightly by Baldwin in one-on-one. Gets around Baldwin, Welsh in on the assist, but here's McGrath coast to coast. That ends up wide. Solid defensive effort there from Awashko to leave the box, put some pressure on. That one ends up wide.
Very impressive to see her so confident on a one-on-one there, even with two defenders swarming McGrath. McGrath had every intention to score there.
So your score is still 1-0. Awashko set to kick it away. 27-35 and counting down to the first half. That one gets over two maroon jerseys and ends up out of play. And it'll roll with the Brewers.
That is a good name, Brewers. I do like that.
Brewers is nice. I mean, it's a collegiate mascot.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, there's a fine line of things I can and cannot say about Brewers being a collegiate mascot. But speaking of Brewers, how about those Milwaukee Brewers? 85 wins, best team in baseball by 5 games.
Wow, unbelievable.
Here's Hansen, leaves it back. Hansen now for Schotter. Schotter loses the ball, quickly corralled by the Brewers. Here's Valley. Valley gives it up, gets it back. Baldwin picks it off. Still loose, takes a bounce. Here's Tanko. Tanko trying to get around Nihei, does so. Nihei a little bit shaken up.
Might have got clipped in the face there from Tanko when they were fighting for the ball.
The referee calls for a stoppage of the clock. I believe they'll take a moment and check up on Nihei. Hopefully everything's okay.
And on this break, Lucas, I would love to mention that much of this roster from today's Vassar is a lot of upperclassmen who have fought together on a national stage. They went dancing last year in the D3 national tournament.
Which means the Knights have had to run the gauntlet their first 2 contests here at Kaplan Field. I mean, today's game, Nihei appears all right.
Never an easy thing when you have two back-to-back. You have back-to-back games against a nationally ranked opponent and a fellow nationally recognized team.
Team that went dancing. I mean, but iron sharpens iron, as they say. So Nihei will leave the game, thankfully under her own power. Coming on now for Vassar, Anna Arbin out of Temecula, California. Lovely town. My grandparents lived there. Spent a lot of time there as a kid. Fun fact.
Is that in Northern California then? Or
Southern California. It's about an hour north of San Diego. It's nice.
Very nice.
Another offside for Vassar.
Wow.
And if you're Vassar, Bob, I mean, how do you go to fix that? Because, I mean, I feel like a lot of offsides between Friday and now today, I mean, you just end up shooting yourself in the foot.
Absolutely. I mean, your midfield and your strikers have to coordinate a little bit more on that, and the strikers they cannot be pressed up so hard against the defensive line. They have to take a step or two back.
Welsh fires away, low line drive over the head of Hansen. Tanko gets a head on it, but the Knights can't come down with possession. Here's Ponarelli. That one kicks off a Knight, and the Knights have possession now. Sends it for Schotter around midfield. Schotter can't get around Hart. Here's Baldwin for De Leon Portillo. That kick blocked. McGrath now in one-on-one. That one up ahead. No offside. Awashko there before Rodriguez can catch up to it. So nothing comes of a potential fast break for the Brewers.
Another ball claimed by Awashko, and you love to just see the body language from Awashko just saying to the strikers of Vassar, come and try me.
Awashko sends it away. That one ends up out of play near the Vassar bench. To throw it in for Mount St. Mary is Barone. Barone thought about it, looks for Tanko. That pass a little out of reach. Hart leaves it for Getson. Getson, uncontested, is going to get it all the way back to the goalie. And so they're going to bake a cake from scratch here.
And minimal press again from the Mount. I feel like if you were the Mount and you're down 1, you need to be pressing the back line more so they can't just be picking out these passes.
That pass straight off the head of Baldwin. Nice defense there. De Leon Portillo has trouble and lays down a hammer on McGrath. Just wrong person, wrong time. Both going for the ball, and they meet each other. The referees will call a foul. Clock still runs. Both parties appear okay. Set to do the honors for Vassar is Arbin. Arbin on the free kick. Low line drive. Owashko wraps it up on a hop. That looked like a ball that was just hoping to find a body and just never did.
Yeah, from that distance, you're definitely not trying to shoot unless you're prime Ronaldo with Manchester City, but I presume she meant to clip it in over the top to try and find a head.
Owashko's kick goes out of the reach of the Knights, and so Vassar, deep in their own end, are just going to get another opportunity. And that is one thing I've noticed. I mean, obviously, long-distance passes are a lot harder to maintain and defend. Good defense there from Hansen. Able to get around is Arbin. Arbin, that pass picked off. Here comes Mora. Mora in alone. Mora, good move. Can't you get around? He's going to leave it for Schotter. Here's Tanko in the box. Tanko gets a shot right at Shea.
And a great possession there from the Mount. You love to see them being able to win that ball back in pressure and get the possession and then take a shot.
And good pass and good passing there too. Few passes made inside, tight passes made inside, and that was a great look for Tanko. Just fired it right at Shea.
Absolutely. Sometimes you're just going to find the goalkeeper's arms, but if you keep pressing and you keep getting those opportunities, you're going to find something eventually.
Well, I mean, exactly. And those are the opportunities that you could tell the Knights desperately lacked on Friday. And that's another shot on goal for the Knights now, but just keep stringing together those chances and good things will come. Owashko to send it back away. Getting a foot on it is Brigman. Brigman for Rodriguez. Rodriguez guarded by Mora, now picked up by Nacarado. Nacarado puts the moves on, able to force a turnover. Here's Wager, and the Brewers will reset. Nacarado now. Nacarado gets around Getson. Here's Valley. Valley for McGrath. McGrath, good pass through the middle, looks for Ponarelli, the game's lone goal scorer. Ponarelli picked up by Welsh. Looking to get around, centering pass. That one quickly rejected by Barone. Still loose in the box. Owashko comes and picks it up.
And a strong defensive formation and possession there from the Mount. You love to see them be able to get those deflections and not let a clean shot come through.
And Bob, you alluded to this earlier. I mean, just play through your scores. Panarelli, you mentioned she was the second leading goal scorer on the team last year. She has a goal tonight, but you can tell, or at least for a few of these possessions, Vassar is definitely trying to play through her.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have to feed the hot hand, and you can see them also coming after McGrath very, very frequently.
Rodriguez puts the moves on. Barone, nice pass. It's picked up by Valley. Valley, guarded by Barone, works way around, centering pass. That one rejected by Baldwin. Valley has some trouble with it, works with it around the end line. That one will end up out of play, and it'll go the way of the Knights, I believe is the call on the field. It is. Set to throw it in as Barone. Barone thought about getting it to Mora, decided that wasn't worth it. That goes off the head of Schotter and out of play. Two sets of fresh legs for the Brewers. In now, number 31, Livy Sobel, and number 7, Caroline Sheehan. To throw it in, as you know, the hard part about being in a booth that's really a folding table is you can't see over this metal fence that's right in front of us. And when you have to find someone's jersey number, that's kind of annoying.
That does get a little bit difficult.
I mean, because that's like my whole job is to know people's numbers and where they are on the field. And with this unsightly fence in the way, as that one's wrapped up by Portillo, De Leon Portillo, sorry, here's Welsh. That one fired into the stands. Souvenir. But I mean, yeah, this fence isn't doing us a whole lot of favors.
Not at all, no. Unfortunately for me, actually, I don't need to see the field to see stats. But
That's
for
true.
you, I can imagine it's very difficult.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, because it makes sense that this booth is on Powell Avenue and not anywhere on the field because there's a fence that says, there's a sign on the fence that says no dogs allowed.
If they had to keep us out, I totally understand.
Unfortunately, they're not rocking with Bob and I. Under 20 minutes to play here. Your score's still 1-0. Working the ball now is Arbin. Arbin for McGrath. McGrath passed crossfield. That one picked up by Barone. Sent away. Working it now is Bowman. Bowman for Sheehan, fresh into the game. Sheehan back to Valley, and now here's Sheehan. She has a step on Barone. Sends that one towards the middle. Good defense there from Baldwin to get it out. Bowman off the head, ends up out of play. On now for the Knights, number 17, Emma Mahaly, and on now for the Brewers, number 3, Sonia Franklin. Throwing it is Barone. Here's Mora. That one ends up out of play. And that's the second throw-in in a row, or at least the second recent throw-in where the pass is just immediately carried off the Knight and out of bounds. And I feel like, I mean, obviously that's less than ideal, but I feel like that's something that's also fairly easy to fix. Good defense there from Hansen. She picks it off. At the very least, she'll be able to get it out of harm's way. That one can quickly take it back. That's Franklin. Franklin leaves it for a wager.
And again, the heavy emphasis on defensive midfielders and midfielders is when you pick those balls off in the midfield in your own defending third, you have no support right away.
And Vassar has spent a lot of time in their own third of the field. I mean, a lot of ball movement between the defenseman back there, and just a lot of time figuring out what they want to do with the ball. And you notice that with NYU is because at least when they're in their own third, I mean, the Knights really haven't bothered to come contest.
Yes, and sometimes that can become a problem, and when you're letting Vassar have such an easy time behind the line, it's not good.
Of course, and I mean, and the goal notwithstanding, this has been a much better defensive game for the Knights, but I feel like if you give your opponent too much time with the ball, then something is bound to come up.
And I apologize, my thought got cut off there, but no, it's
that pass for Sheehan, wide open in the corner, sends a centering pass, quickly return to the center. Here's Sheehan again. She'll try it again. So that one towards the middle as Baldwin gets a foot on it, but that comes for Valley. That one goes high. Perfect rebound opportunity there for Elena Valley, and the shot just goes high.
And that'll whiz up to the security apartments.
I feel like that was gift wrapped. That was a perfect second chance there.
100%, Lucas. I started to cut you off, but as couch coaches ourselves, it does look easy, but those balls that are rolling out to you, where you're trying to punch it under the bar from that far out, is actually far more difficult than it looks.
No, of course, and I'm more so talking about the look she got than the shot itself. But
yeah, absolutely.
Second chance shot goes high, and still 1-0.
And there's a lot of different ways you can hit a ball when it's coming out to you like that, because you can daisy cut it off the floor where it's going to wrap itself into the back post, or you can finesse it, or you can try and crack one as hard as you can, and it seemed like she went for pure power there.
And one thing I have noticed, a lot smoother contest so far for the Mount compared to Friday, but Vassar has just dominated in time of possession.
Absolutely, and I think it does attest to the Mount not pressing them as heavily on their own defensive line, and they're letting Vassar employ this lower work rate.
That one sent towards the middle. McGrath ducked it. Hit, I believe, Sheehan in front. It'll carry out of bounds.
I think McGrath almost had a head there, just couldn't steer that one on net. Sheehan on the back post couldn't get it straight.
So the referee doing what referees do. Unsure of where the ball is being spotted. It'll be, I believe, a free kick for Mount St. Mary.
In these last 15 minutes here, I feel like you need to see the work rate be increased from the Knights against a team that's already played a game yesterday. You have to be outworking them.
I think if you're the Knights, you just have to find a way to string together more consistent opportunities on offense, because they've had a few. As that pass picked off, here's McGrath, guarded tightly by Mora, able to get it around Mora. McGrath looking to get the ball inside. Good move. Fires. That one picked off by Hansen. Tanko giving chase. That ball's still loose. Here's Mora. Has to get it out of harm's way. Sends that one back towards the middle of the field. Here's Valley now. Valley looking for Sheehan. That one just out of reach. Picking it up is Sobel for Vassar. There's Panarelli now. Panarelli on Welsh, gets around, moves in, and scores.
Tough one to give up this late in the half there, Lucas.
Gianna Panarelli with her second of the contest. And, Bob, we were just talking about it. Play through your scores because, I mean, that's Panarelli's second of the game, second highest score on the team last year. You know, give Panarelli the ball and get out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a hard save to make for Iwashko, and Panarelli comes off the wing, and she's screened by a defender already, and she lets one whiz to the far post. That's such a difficult ball to get a foot to.
Coming on now for the Knights, number 24, Riley Tondini. She comes on in relief of Deciliana Nacarado. And it is now a 2-0 advantage for the Brewers.
Absolutely. And through these last 15 minutes here, you can't hit cruise control, but you can definitely be far more comfortable for Vassar. And as we've already seen, the Knights are letting them be comfortable.
Now, yeah, if you're the Knights, again, I mean, I feel like this was a theme for Friday, too. You just have to find a way to get up off the mat. Here's Mora now, guarded tightly by Brigman, able to get around. Here's Mora with a step. Mora in alone, good ball fake. Looks to set up something off it. Just Mahali fresh into the game, sends that one towards the net. Fair catch from Laura Shea, and it stays 2-0.
Signal was made. We'll start from the 25, sorry.
And so Vassar, I mean, it's really been the trio of Wager, Bowman, and Nihei. Nihei obviously has since left the contest, but the back three in that, I don't know, the defending third, your own side of the field, just completely dominated by Vassar, setting up a game plan, and it has worked.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's, again, not to beat a dead horse here into the turf, but the Knights are just not pressing enough on the back end, and they're just letting Vassar physically look where they want to go and just pump balls up the channel.
And that's one thing I've learned about broadcasting, because nobody likes somebody who beats a dead horse, but as long as it's a prevalent game theme, I mean, people are going to keep bringing it up.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Welsh and Valley, good job for the Knights to come away with the ball. Making a loose Tubbs for Mora. Mora back towards midfield for Welsh. Welsh, that goes off Brigman. Valley now. Valley for Hart, and this could be a chance here for Vassar. That one sent well up ahead, out of the reach of Sheehan, giving chases Barone. Barone's able to send it out of bounds.
Great pace there from the fullbacks, and I have been very impressed by how fast our fullbacks have been today to maintain those long balls despite the 2-goal deficit.
On now for Vassar, number 17, Ava Holman, and number 23, Molly McLaughlin.
And I can't help but to notice, as I've probably used that phrase a lot of times, Vassar is subbing on a lot of first years here, but it's very impressive for a program to be able to plug so many first years into their lineup and still operate at a high level.
And of the two substitutions, as Barone gets a head on it, it goes straight up. Getting a head on it also is Brigman, and it ends up out of play. In the most recent set of substitutions for Vassar, coming off is Riley McGrath. I mean, obviously nothing on the stat sheet yet, but you can tell she is an important part of the offense.
Yeah, absolutely. She seems to be an overwhelming presence on the field, and often with strikers, they don't always have to be bagging 20 goals a season, but if they're there taking up the space, it always makes it very difficult for defenses.
Brigman and Mora collide. Mora a little slow to get up. Not a good sign for the woman who was the team's leading scorer last year. Wager will leave it for Arbin. Arbin waltzes it towards the midfield circle. We'll give that up for Sobel. Sobel for Brigman here along the near sideline. Brigman looking to get to work. Brigman pass up ahead. That one picked off by DeLeon Portillo, who gets it to Mora, who has that one go off a Brewer and will end up out of bounds, ultimately off of a Knight, Vassar ball.
And I'm still intrigued here, Lucas, that fifth-year coach Keith Simmons is choosing not to play his number 9. Alice Crowley, who's last year's leading goal scorer, a sophomore.
Barone walks it to the end line. That one ends up out of play. But it will be Knights ball. Just under 12 minutes to go here in the first half. Your score, Vassar 2, Mount St. Mary nothing. Definitely tell Keith Simons, I mean, like you said, you can never truly go on cruise control, but he is taking this opportunity. He has 2-0 cushion, about 10 minutes left in the half. He is taking the time just to cycle through, get everybody some reps. Is that one towards the box? Iwashko coming out, coming in, and it goes off the crossbar. That one no good.
cookie on the goal line, and she just broke the jar.
Oh, man. And if you're the Knights, you are counting your lucky stars, as that one's a ground ball towards Awashko.
Crossbar still reverberating from that one. She let that eat.
Ava Holman out of St. Louis, Missouri. You want to talk about gift-wrapped rebounds or gift-wrapped opportunities. Those gift-wrap opportunities, those don't come much better than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do say that as someone who doesn't play the sport, and would probably miss that myself, but as a forward, our eyes must have gotten a little bit too wide there, and she overestimated it.
So your score remains 2-0, but, man, that was as close as you can get without actually scoring.
And a little bit of a bullet to dodge there from the mount, because it still keeps it a 2-0 deficit. And if you can bag a goal here before the half, you're completely back in the game.
And that's exactly it. If you're the Knights, I mean, you have to find a way to turn that into any sort of momentum. I mean, we're approaching 3 halves now of scoreless soccer for the Mount. You know, maybe you can take that as a sign from the universe and turn it into good fortune. That one ends up out of play. The referees commiserate, decide it was out off of a Knight, Vassar to throw it in. Doing the honors, Anna Anya Alkovic. Alkovic throws it in. Here's Holman. That one ends up out of play. Rattles up against the beautiful brown fence we were talking about earlier.
Alkovic, that's a nice name. I like that. I haven't seen it spelled with an H before.
Thrown in. Here's Sobel. That one a centering pass, but likely nobody home. Out of play. And so, I mean, if you're the Knights, what goes into the drawing board, or what goes on the drawing board here between the last 10 minutes and the half?
I think here you just have to maintain damage control. Conceding another goal would be a near death sentence at this point, and if you're trying to stay competitive in this match, I think you have to increase the work rate in the second half.
There's Welsh for Tondini. Tondini and the defender collide. Here's Valley now. Valley puts the moves on. He's going to leave it for Sheehan. Sheehan fires.
Wolf.
Out of reach of Samantha Ehrenreich.
Going for broke there.
Sobel out of Sandwich, Massachusetts.
Sandwich, Massachusetts.
Sandwich, Massachusetts.
That can't be a real town.
Has to be.
Wow. I wish I could
that's
say I was from Sandwich, Massachusetts.
Exactly. I mean, that's great, though.
That is so cool. That's such a sick, fun fact.
It must, like, yeah, I mean, can you imagine how fun icebreakers must be?
Wow. Speaking of syllabus week, we just got through our first week of school, so shout out icebreakers.
Yeah. And thankfully, you don't have to do any more of those.
Thank goodness.
But yeah, imagine just an icebreaker your first day of the year. I'm from Sandwich. That's a great conversation
Awesome.
starter.
I wouldn't even clarify what state that's from. I would say, hi, I'm Bob. I'm from Sandwich.
Centering pass now. Sobel, the Sandwich native. That one ends up still loose. Both teams having trouble just corralling the ball. That one attempted to be sent back towards the middle. It ends up out over the end line, out of play. 8 minutes and counting down. Awashko to send it away. Substitution here for the Mount. On is Christiana Mackey. Off is number 4, Morgan Tubbs. Awashko fires away. Fornino gets a foot on it. De Leon Portillo has trouble with it. Here's Holman in. Wrapped up. And Ava Holman almost had a shot at redemption. Awashko quickly gets out of the box, wraps it up, makes a play on it. Stays 2-0.
Scary stuff there. The Mount has to maintain this ball out of their own defending third here.
Ball worked right around midfield. McLaughlin in pursuit, unable to corral it. That one rifled out of bounds. It'll go the way of the Brewers. Throwing it in is Franklin. Franklin for Sheehan. That pass picked off. Hansen loses her footing, but here's Mahali. Mahali up ahead. It's Fornino.
Great build up here.
Fornino fires. That one takes a funky bounce, but it is wrapped up by Laura Shea. And if you're Shea, I mean, it's been a pretty smooth day at the office so far. I mean, I wouldn't call the defense smothering, but I mean, Laura Shea, it's been fairly light workload today.
Yeah, definitely. She's made the save she's needed to make, and she hasn't faced anything unbelievably crucial except that funky bounce at the back there that almost fell into the net.
I mean, that's exactly it. I mean, just make the saves you should make, and 99% of the time you're going to be in a great spot. There's Sobel out of Sandwich. She'll send that one out of bounds. I feel like I have to mention that every time Sobel touches the ball.
Oh, 100%. I'll try to maintain professionalism here, but that's just the best to me. I think that's so awesome.
Wonder if Sandwich is nice this time of year.
I would love to know.
McLaughlin off the head. That one ends up right out of bounds. Almost exactly where Barone threw it from.
Pinpoint accuracy, as one might say.
So Barone to try it again. Does so, and that one also ends up out of bounds. A little further up. That goes off Anya Halkovich, a first year out of Santa Rosa, California. Barone tosses it in. Tried to get it to Tondini. Tondini had a little trouble with it. That pass up ahead intended for Valley. Good defense there from De Leon Portillo, and that one's rocketed out towards the Knights attacking third. Nobody in white is home to receive it. That one ends up out of play, and it'll stick with the Knights here in their attacking third. And so Bob, with right around 5 minutes left on the half, we'll see if Mount St. Mary's able to tack something on.
Yeah, absolutely. And the throw-in here has to be could have been a lot more tactical. Often you see throw-ins on the attacking third get very, very technical from teams.
And that's what I've noticed is a lot of throw-ins for the last 2 games we've done, or the first 2 games, depending on how you want to look at it. The throw-ins have just felt rushed. Not a whole lot of accuracy I've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely different thought processes on how you should be taking throw-ins, and some teams prefer to just be on an unlimited motor and just taking them as fast as possible to get through teams' back lines because you can't be offsides on a throw-in.
Olivia Spector, the fresh set of legs for the Brewers. But I mean, I feel like this goes for almost every possession-based sport. I mean, you just have to take care of the ball. I mean, because obviously if you don't have the ball, you can't score.
Absolutely.
Mahali up ahead, tried to get it to Fornino. Fornino going to play catch-up. We'll see if she can. A solid effort, just unable to keep it in bounds. Ends up out of play. Brewer ball.
Almost ran into the Vassar bench there. The maroon wall does not look very inviting.
That one ends up out of play. Fornino leaves it for Barone. Barone to throw it in. Barone for De Leon Portillo. Leaves that one for Barone. That one picked off by Ehrenreich. McLaughlin up ahead. Here come the Brewers. 3.5 minutes to go. We'll see if either side has a last-minute goal in them. Sheehan working it up along the far sideline. Now waltzes it back towards the middle. Fakes a shot. Tries to get around. Gets a shot off. That one wrapped up fairly easily by Owashko. So the Knights will send it away. And I feel like now, I mean, with 3 minutes left, you can just kind of go 0 to 60 before the end of the half. I mean, you're doing anything you can to try and tack on one more.
100%. I think, whoa. I don't know what this big pole is in front of us, but the ball smacked the dead center.
This one off the contraption.
Whatever.
That is a fantastic point. I have no idea what that is.
Some transformer of some sort, I think.
So the ball goes off something straight out of War of the Worlds.
Intriguing stuff.
And neither Bob and I can figure out what it is. That one ends up out of
our
play.
way.
This one's headed towards the booth.
Bounce back over the fence.
Bounce back over the fence.
We have to keep a tally. I hope at some point this year we get a ball that comes up into the
Bob and I are doing men's and women's game all year, so we'll be keeping a tab. But the day one of us gets a foul ball is going to be the best moment of the broadcast.
Oh, 100%.
Working with it now. Here's Halkovich. Leaves it. Working on it. Back to Halkovich. Keeps it in bounds. Guarded tightly by Fornino and Mackey. That one ends up out of play. Halkovich to throw it in again.
And the scoreboard has shut off here, so I would believe there's 2 minutes left, but I'm actually not sure.
I mean, that makes me wonder. I wonder if this, Star Wars-esque contraption has something to do with the clock. I mean, I'm not an IT.
Neither am I.
Here's Arbin.
There's a reason we're here and not there.
That's true. So 2:37 and counting down left in the half. The scoreboard is back after a brief interruption. Tondini tries to get around McLaughlin. Can't. Here's Hansen. And the Knights have the ball here on the Vassar end of the field. That one will end up out of play, but it will stick with Mount St. Mary.
And of course, you have to be careful for those who are, all 10 of us that were watching the last match. I did mention there's no stoppage time in college, so you have to be very careful of the clock here if you're trying to get a goal before the half ends.
And so for the folks at home, you can explain that a little more. There's no added time. It's 45 minutes drop dead.
Yeah, there's no injury time, nothing like that. As soon as it hits 0, the half is finished.
It's 2:09. The clock is stopped.
I presume we're at the 2-minute warning at this point.
Definitely not on. Whatever's going on with the clock is 100% not on purpose.
Sometimes technology just loves to be our friend.
209, wonderful area code. Best, easily California's finest. So the game is still going on, but the clock is still stopped, and nobody's noticed. So, I mean, obviously you just play on, as McLaughlin has that one nearly pickpocketed by Mackey. Here's Vassar now, working with it as Spector. Spector leaves it for Wager. Wager fires. The clock's still stopped. Wide open now, off to the races, and that's going to be an offside. Ava Holman was in fast pursuit of the ball. Clearly not with the call.
Was protesting the call, but I think she was standing in a different area code, Lucas.
Now, so Holman, standing in Connecticut, gets busted for the offside.
And that'll corral us into halftime, I believe.
And so the confusion with the scoreboard only gets worse, but we have received word it's halftime. The halftime counter is now on. So, Bob, before we were rudely interrupted by clock mismanagement, so your score at the half, the Vassar Brewers 2, the Mount St. Mary Knights nothing. Bob, what are your notes on the first half?
Much better half from the Knights. I actually really like that half. I think Iwashko definitely had a standout half. I really loved the amount of saves she made. The confidence to be able to stand in there and just make the saves that you have to make when Vassar's having the opportunities. I absolutely love that, and I just think there needs to be a higher work rate on offense from the Knights. That's about all.
And I would say that this is one of those games where the score doesn't feel very indicative of the game. I mean, 2-0 feels like it's a lot further apart than it should be. Because, I mean, for the most part, this has felt like an even contest. Vassar has just gotten has gotten more opportunities, and by default, more scores.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is unfortunate. Soccer is one of those sports where you can have a game that was 3-0 and 2 of the goals could have been own goals, or one of them could have been some sort of last-minute, like, cheap shot or something, you know what I'm saying? So it is definitely not – it's not fully reflective of how this half went.
So once again, I'm Lucas Stackpole. With me in the booth is Bob Hauk, and we'll be back in 13 minutes and 39 seconds for the second half of some soccer. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this Sunday afternoon broadcast live from Kaplan Field. I'm Lucas Stackpole. With me in the booth is my good friend Bob Hauk. It is currently 2-0 Vassar leading Mount St. Mary. Bob, what are your keys to the second half for both sides?
It was a pretty contested first half. I would not say the score is reflective of exactly how the first half went. I think it was far more contested than the scoreboard shows at the moment. I think for the Mount, it's finding that second ball through the midfield. Through the first half, possession, respectively for each team, was 60-70% in the midfield, so a lot of the ball spent time within that chunk, not in the attacking thirds. So I think it's finding that ball out of the midfield that can get you towards the net.
So 11 shots on goal, 2 goals for Vassar compared to 4 shots on goal and a blank scoreboard for Mount St. Mary. And Bob, I do agree with you. I mean, we talked about that to end the first half, but I do think this is one of those games where the score isn't necessarily indicative of how the game has gone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the Mount can, if they get back to increasing the work rate here in the second half and they go find themselves something early, I think they can definitely make this a match.
And again, I'm inclined to agree with you. Just find a way to string together some opportunities on offense, because for the most part, it has been a fairly well-played defensive game. But, I mean, if you're not turning that defense into offense, and if you can't get offense going just from scratch, I mean, you're going to be in a tough spot. I mean, we saw that Friday night, a 6-0 loss, and we're seeing that a little bit now this afternoon, 2-0.
Absolutely, and I like your point that you just have to find a way. And I played a lot of volleyball in high school, and often our coach would say, just find one. Just got to be one pass. It has to start with a pass, and then you can get it. So I think they just have to find just one mode, one ball to get through, put one home, and then work from there.
A very wise man once said, I mean, it starts with one. I mean, you're down 2, you're going to have to get 1 in order to get the second one. I mean, we'll see if the Knights can string together some offense. I have high hopes.
Absolutely. The Knights will be attacking the MS side of the MSMC this half, so the white will be rushing towards your right for those looking on the broadcast. The claret will be rushing towards the left.
And still really just a gorgeous Sunday afternoon.
Absolutely. I am sweating just a tad bit, but I really can't complain about sunny and 70. It's better than sitting in the rain.
Bright blue sky. I mean, you have Mount Beacon across the river. And luckily enough, our open-air broadcast booth is now in the shade. So, I mean, we're not getting
Just a little bit, yeah.
We're not getting fried anymore, which is nice.
Absolutely. It also doesn't help when Lucas and I have very dark hair and we're both wearing dark colors today, so that's definitely going to key into it. But
Yeah, I'll definitely crank up the heat a little bit.
it happens. I can't imagine the dark maroon jerseys are feeling very comfortable in this.
Well,
direct
especially on
sunlight.
the turf, too. That turf gets hot.
Will swelter.
And also, we heard some questions regarding the volume of the microphones. I mean, I believe we fixed that halfway through the first half. But
I hope so.
I hope so. I mean, nobody said anything since, but we have reason to believe that issue has been resolved.
Absolutely, and I'm intrigued to see what 11 Vassar rolls back out here, because it seems like they're keen to rotate their players a lot.
I mean, I wonder if you're Vassar here, do you roll the starters back out to open the second half? I mean, you're still up 2-0. I mean, you have enough breathing room, but I mean, of course, 2-0 is still well within reaching distance.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's definitely 2 modes of thought there, because you could roll out your best 11 or your starters or whoever you want. Whoever you think is the best to just go for the kill shot and put it out of reach. But I think there's also a mode of thought to just put out whoever you can get out there right now, whoever's ready to go, and just try and roll out this last 45.
And it looks like for Vassar, they'll roll out a mixture. To your point, they did make a lot of substitutions throughout the duration of the first half, and there's no reason to believe they won't do the same thing again. And I believe MSMC is just rolling out their starting 11.
It's what it seems to be. I would be intrigued to see if there's any sort of formation or tactic changes here coming into the second half.
I mean, I'm sure now for the Knights, I mean, you've played 2 really good teams, but I mean, that's 3 straight halves now you've been shut out.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think you just have to stay committed to committed to the bit, but you have to just stay committed to the grind to try and find your first. Because once you get one, you'll start getting more.
Tanko sends it well downfield for Welsh, and Bob, it's time to party. Second half underway, live from Kaplan Field here in Newburgh. Welsh for Hansen here on the near sideline. That one quickly picked off. It's Rodriguez. Rodriguez, good pass. She'll find McGrath. McGrath back for Rodriguez. 2 of Vassar's 4 captains. That shot blocked. And it is worth noting that McGrath is on the field. When she left, there was around, I'd say, 15 minutes left in the first half. I mean, she is clearly not too much on the stat sheet, but you can tell she's clearly an integral part of the offense.
Absolutely, and it seems like they run a lot of the offense through here, so I would not be shocked if you're seeing a lot of long balls clipped over the top towards her white bow.
Lindsay Nihei back on the field after taking a shot to the head area in the first half. We're glad she's all right. That one's still loose in front. Here's Hart, puts a move on, tries to center it, can't, ends up out behind the end line off the side of the cage. And the Knights have made a change at goalkeeper to open the second half. In back is number 23, Elizabeth Lenan.
Junior goalkeeper from Hopewell Junction. We'll see how the second half goes with the more experienced set of hands in net.
I mean, early on, we'll see, because their Lenan started Friday night's contest, was relieved by Awashko, and that corner kick sent towards the middle, up out of play, and it looks like we may do it again. So, I mean, Lenan started Friday night, Awashko came on in relief. Awashko started today, Lenan picks up the second half. I wonder if the Knights are just rolling with a tandem for the first few games of the year.
That seems it. I mean, when you have new faces around in town and you're not totally sure, it never hurts to get a tandem going. Awashko did have 7 saves in the first half. I think that was an impressive performance from the freshman.
I mean, Awashko, to her credit, that one's still loose out in front. We were talking about her a lot on Friday's broadcast. That one's still loose. Welsh does a good job to get it at least out of harm's way. It looks like it'll stick with the Brewers. There's Bowman giving chase, works it towards the far sideline. Bowman for Nihei. Nihei back to Bowman. Gets it back towards the middle. It's Hart, picked up quickly by DeLeon Portillo. Hart back to Bowman. Bowman trying to get inside the box, work it towards the end line. That one high off the side of the cage.
I noticed something random here, Lucas. Nihei, captain on the back line here, is wearing her captain's band on her leg. I haven't seen that before.
My brother does that.
Does really?
I think so. I mean, I'm not sure if it's a fashion thing.
I have no idea. Maybe it's just a comfort thing.
I mean, bright green captain's band, certainly hard to miss.
Yeah, I mean, they're very tight elastic, so they'll fit on any limb you want to put it on.
Here's Lenan. Little miscommunication up front. Looks like Vassar was able to get some pressure on. That one's still loose. Good job. Hard shove from Livy Sobel out of Sandwich, Massachusetts. And ladies and gentlemen, Bob and I did some research because we were just quite fascinated with the town of Sandwich, Massachusetts. So, I mean, every time Livy Sobel gets the ball, here's a chance now for Vassar. Fires, wrapped up by Lenan. And that is Gianna Panarelli taking that shot. Panarelli has both of the goals for Vassar in tonight's contest.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like they'll just keep feeding the hot hand here through the second half.
And before we were interrupted by soccer action, of course, Livy Sobel out of Sandwich, Massachusetts. Here she is with the ball. So Bob and I did some research because we had to look into this town called Sandwich. We couldn't believe it's a real thing. Here's Panarelli again, guarded by Welsh. Panarelli has a step up. He's going to send it towards the middle. It's loose. Lenan just falls on it. Gets it out of harm's way. So Sandwich, the oldest town in Cape Cod, founded in 1639.
Wow. What were they even doing in 1639?
Nothing. Just staring at walls.
Just chilling, I guess. Hacking away trees.
Just hanging out, I guess. I mean, there's
fishing, maybe.
There's no sports to watch.
Oh dear. No Saturday football.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What were they doing without college football?
That's tragic. I couldn't imagine a world without watching NFL on Sundays.
And it was named for its close resemblance to Sandwich, England.
And a great move here from Mora.
Back to soccer. Here's a chance. The Knights have worked the ball deep into the attacking third, just unable to come away with anything. Around 5 minutes into the half, a lot of soccer left, but we'll see if they can just keep doing that more consistently. But that does beg, if it was named after a town that was already called Sandwich, what did the original Sandwich do to get called Sandwich? Great. Here's Rodriguez now, top of the box. Rodriguez fires high and wide off the protective screen, and Lenan will free kick it.
Well, the original Sandwich is in England, right?
Yeah, that's what
they said.
That's based on our research, yes.
I didn't know they had diverse enough food to name towns after sandwiches.
Well, I mean, sandwich is probably the only food they have. But anyway, I wonder what that town in England did to be called Sandwich. I mean, because this town is probably, if Sandwich, Massachusetts was 1639, then English Sandwich is probably almost maybe 1,000 years old. Goes like 1000s or something.
Yeah, really.
Tussle for the ball on the far sideline. Here's Vassar and gets it back to Nihei. Nihei walls it towards the midfield circle. We'll leave it here for Brigman along the near sideline. Brigman picked up by Hansen. Brigman can't get around. Good defense there from Hansen. Brigman keeps the ball but can't get around. Here's Rodriguez, puts the moves on Tubbs. McGrath gets a foot out, can't corral it. Here's Welsh. Paper everywhere here in this open-air broadcast booth. Hansen and Brigman collide. That one sent back towards the goalkeeper. Arbin will leave it for Shea. Shea sends it back out. Here's Sobel. Sobel puts the moves on. Sobel falls. No whistle. Here's Hart now pushing it upfield. Hart's pass for the far sideline intended for what looked like Getson. Nobody home, but now here's Panarelli. Panarelli walks it in. Panarelli, good move on Welsh. In alone, that one. Good save there from Baldwin.
Dangerous, and McGrath was sitting there on the back post just completely alone with absolutely nobody in the realm, so that would have been a free goal if that pass got through.
Good kick save there from Baldwin. And Panarelli, I mean, the game plan really just seems get her the ball and get out of the way. I mean, 2 goals, plenty more shots. I mean, just feed your scorer.
Absolutely. When you have, I wouldn't use the phrase world class, but at the world class level, when you have world class strikers, that's usually the objective, is just to get them the rock and let them work.
I mean, and Vassar, I mean, realizes that for sure. I mean, McGrath has sort of been the facilitator, but Panarelli has been the closer, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely, and I feel like that's so important to have that ball before the ball and be able to have that service to let your hot hand work.
There's Hansen. Panarelli picks it up. She's guarded by Tubbs. Panarelli gets back to Nihei. Nihei for Arbin. Arbin for Bowman along the far sideline. Tango giving chase. Arbin does have a step. Or sorry, that's Bowman. Now working with it is Getson. Picked up by De Leon Portillo. Good poke check there. Gets the ball back. Here's, I believe, Tubbs. Gets a foot on it. Sends it somewhere. Shot her. Now here's Tanko giving chase. Tanko elects to let it go out of bounds, and it'll come back with the Brewers. So 2 sets of fresh legs on for the Knights at the next stoppage. Waiting to come into the game, Riley Tondini and Sophia Light. Now here's Hart. Hart works it in, gets it for McGrath. Here's McGrath. Centering pass attempted. That one's still loose in front. Caught a body. Here's Panarelli. Panarelli chips it just high. And so really, Bob, I mean, that just kind of proves the point we were just trying to make. I mean, McGrath and Panarelli, the setup man and the closer, really, I think of this, at least Vassar's offense.
Yeah, it's a two-headed dragon right here, and it's really hard to deal with. And that ball right there was really dangerous. But that's a hard one to put home.
I mean, of course, yeah, that definitely is a difficult ball to put home, but that just kind of really hammers home the point. I mean, that was McGrath, a centering pass that was ultimately picked up by Panarelli.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think going forward here, if there's live comms from the back line here, they just have to be aware of where Panarelli is at all times.
Welsh's pass takes a bounce over the head of Schotter. Luckily, Nacarado there in relief. And that is one thing we also were harping on in the first half, is MSMC on the throw and having a hard time taking care of the ball. There's a perfect pass up ahead for McGrath. Here, it's a one-on-one. Good move on Baldwin. Fires, has that shot blocked. Still loose in front. Good defense there from Tondini. And that one ends up out of play. So really good defense there from the Knights. I mean, McGrath had to step ahead in that one-on-one. Great help defense from Baldwin and ultimately Tondini, and the ball's knocked out of bounds.
100%, Lucas, and that's a difficult one to put home, but that's something you just have to take first time when you're in on net. And Lenan did a great job getting out forward and making yourself big to make it super difficult for the striker there.
Well, man, that's a good job. I mean, for the most, up until that very end, it was a one-on-one, and now here's Sobel picks up the ball, fires that one off the head of McGrath, and out of play. So, I mean, us here in the broadcast booth are men of science. The town of Sandwich, England, is named for its location on sandy soil derived from the Anglo-Saxon word Sandwick, the suffix which refers to a settlement or a market town. The town's name is actually older than the food.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So now, there's really the deep rabbit hole here in the MSMC broadcast booth as Panarelli gets around Welsh, centering pass, that one wrapped up by Lenan.
Fun facts for the broadcast team, huh?
Now, is Sandwich the food named after Sandwich the town? Exactly.
These are good questions. That's probably something Googleable, and there's probably someone face-palming right now that we don't know that. But I
this is the fun part about being a broadcaster. Is, I mean, for the most, I love calling the game, but we're men of science.
Asking the real questions.
Exactly.
Of course.
You learn something new every day up here. It's quite nice.
Great anticipation from Tanko there.
Tanko's pass for Baldwin. That one's sent back deep. Nobody home in white. Shea quickly picks it up, and Vassar will start from scratch. There's Brigman. That one blocked by Tondini.
Great press here from the Mount.
And this is the This is a press we haven't yet seen from the Knights this year.
Yeah, and it's important to be able to pressure the ball. And I used to get angry playing Sunday League with with middle-aged guys because you get mad at me that wouldn't press, but pressing is so important when you're playing in competitive matches.
I mean, of course, and for really any sport, is Linan way out of the box. Can't corral it. It's still loose. Has to get back to her post. Good heads-up play there from Baldwin just to get it out of the way. But, I mean, we're talking, obviously you don't want to be too overzealous, you know, too early in the field because obviously if they break the press, it's home on the range. But at least let Vassar know you're there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, just show face, get close to the ball. I mean, obviously don't overcommit, but you're right. I'm glad the Knights have opened a press here in the second half.
100%. It's definitely a work rate thing as well because that does take a lot of stamina from your forwards to be able to constantly be after the ball to press up top.
Nihei for Brigman ends up out of bounds off the
into the transformer.
Yeah, off the War of the Worlds contraption. That we don't have the answers to. We haven't figured out what that's for. Welsh, solid throw up ahead for Hansen, giving chase. Nihei in pursuit. Nihei able to pick it off, but can she keep it in bounds? No, she cannot. It'll go the way of the Knights.
That might be Vassar's. I think that's a camera.
How? Who's working
It's like a
that?
high-quality camera that tracks the field. It's probably a fisheye that keeps tracking the entire field.
I see.
It said Huddle something on it, and I believe it's a camera brand. It's like a
Yeah,
really
well,
fancy-
Huddle's like a streaming company.
Yeah, it's a sports branded camera. Like it's meant for games.
Yeah, it's probably Ball Tracker. I've heard of those. So that one deflected off of a Brewer. That's Sobel. That one deflected off another Brewer. That one's about to play, and Mount St. Mary will do it again. Welsh here on the throw-in. My roster sheet making a break for it. Rodriguez's pass for Panarelli. That one picked off. Here's Tanko. Has the ball inside. Good pass for Schotter. That one blocked. Nacarado picks it up. The Knights still in possession, trying to get something going here. Panarelli giving chase. Can't keep it in bounds. It will be Knights ball.
And the Knights taking more time in the throw-in this time. I'm impressed to see that they're not rushing the throw-in as much as the first half.
Well, it's good. I mean, that was one thing we had both picked up on. Here's Welsh taking her time. Looks for Nacarado. That one over the head of Nacarado. Short bounce, tough turf bounce. This win here in the booth is really giving me a lot of trouble.
Trying to test your knowledge by taking away the roster.
Yeah, I know. Without the, actually no, a magician never reveals his secrets, Bob. I can't talk too much. That one ends up out towards the end line near the corner.
That was a great chase by Barone.
So Vassar's set to kick it away. A whistle, fresh set of legs for Vassar. Coming on, number 7, Caroline Sheehan, and number 17, Ava Holman.
So Vassar here subs off Panarelli and McGrath. So they're going for broke method to start the half, I guess, is out the window at this point. They'll try and hold on to their 2-goal lead.
Well, that's an interesting call. I mean, they're up 2-0, and they've played well enough defense to where they can probably feel at least pretty good. But, I mean, the big dogs, I mean, again, the setup man and the closer, taking both of them out at the same time just feels like an interesting move.
Absolutely. And the move coming from Vassar, and I've noticed here Joe Dolan, second-year coach of MSMC, making some tactical allotments from the sideline here. So we'll have to see what he employs that the Knights this half.
Hansen rifles that along the near sideline, ends up out of play. It'll be Brewers' ball. And while we have a bit of lull of play, the 4th Earl of Sandwich invented the sandwich by putting a piece of meat in between 2 loaves of bread.
And where is that, in England?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I guess that's what people were doing and whenever the sandwich was invented, because that was like the only thing to do. Nothing was invented yet.
Yeah.
Like I could have done that. That one ends up out of play. I believe it'll be Knights ball. It will. Tanko leaves the throw-in duties to Welsh.
I'm intrigued why he called it sandwich, though.
Well, because it's the town. He's the Earl. He's the Earl of Sandwich.
Of course.
Because we established that the name of the town came before the name of the food.
Yes.
As Light works with the ball, guarded tightly by Holman. Light.
Big shoulder there.
Light and good physical defense. Light hits the deck, and Vassar goes the other way. Working it up now. Good move outside. That one taken away by Barone. Still loose. Here's Mora now. Mora leaves it for Barone. Barone sends it back upfield off the head of Arbin. Off the head of Mora. Off the leg of Tanko and Souvenir. So a nice little game of hot potato between the Brewers and the Knights ends up out of play. It will be Brewers ball.
I'm noticing from Vassar too slower throwing, so it seems this is a far more tactical half from both sides.
Here's Nihei working the ball towards the midfield circle. Now it's Barone. Barone sends out one right back towards the midfield circle. Hansen calls off Tanko, tries to pick up the ball, can't quite come away with it. Sobel gets a foot on it, leaves it for Rodriguez. Rodriguez now for Getson. Getson in alone. Here comes Sheehan. Sheehan guarded by Welsh. Welsh picks it up. Sheehan elects not to take the shot. Good move. Fires high. Really good move there from Carolyn Sheehan to get the shot off, get Welsh off, create enough separation to take the shot. Just goes high.
It was an impressive move, but I did hear Coach Dolan yelling, "Don't let her cut." And Welsh did a phenomenal job on not letting her get that roll onto her right foot to take a dominant shot to try and curl it into the far post.
Fresh into the game for Vassar, Elena Valley, who started, and Molly McLaughlin, who came on in relief for the first half. So we have seen both of them today. Here's Tanko, now picks up the ball. Tanko guarded by McLaughlin. Tanko for Light. Light sends it way upfield. Giving chase is Hansen and Schotter. That goes off the head of Arbin. Here's Hansen, leaves it for Tanko. Nihei, good job picking it up there. Goes off the leg of McLaughlin. Karen's behind her. Mora giving chase. McLaughlin has a step up. Mora, good job taking the ball away. McLaughlin gets it back. Here's Nihei, back to McLaughlin. Vassar on the ropes a little bit here. Sends that one upfield. It's Valley. Valley picked up by Schotter. Schotter takes it away. Here's Tondini. Tondini across field, intended for Nacarado. Rodriguez is there and able to pick it off. Rodriguez for Sheehan. Sheehan stops, waltzes with it a little bit. Sheehan sends it back upfield. Here's Getson. Getson for Rodriguez. Rodriguez for Brigman, and now Vassar moves the other way. Here's Brigman up ahead. Picked up by Hansen, gets it to Holman. That one out of bounds along the near sideline. Welsh directing traffic a little bit here ahead of the throw-in. Tried to get it to Hansen, took a short bounce. Hansen got a foot on it, couldn't quite come down with it. Guarded tightly by Brigman. Hansen will leave it for number 27. That's Jessica Bowman. Here's Welsh. Welsh for Schotter. Schotter up ahead for Mora. Here's Mora now, guarded by Arbin. Mora, the leading scorer for the Knights last year, trying to put the moves on. Arbin gets a foot on it, able to kick it away. Working with it now, here's Valley. Valley now for Rodriguez. Rodriguez back to Valley. Valley working it upfield, has a step on Hansen. Valley up ahead. Valley gets it for Sheehan here. Sheehan guarded again by Welsh. She tries to send that one towards the middle, deflects off Welsh and out of bounds over the ed line. I believe that will be a corner kick.
Strange build up there. Seemed like there was a lot of walking on the field as that play developed in slow motion from both sides.
Coming on, Alex Astelos from not from St. Louis, Missouri, from Tarzana, California. Harvard Westlake High School. For any MLB fans, Jack Flaherty, Lucas Giolito, and Max Fried were all in the Harvard Westlake rotation at some point in time.
Sounds like an absurd rotation.
That one ends up out of play. Good job from Hansen getting it out of the box. But a pretty loaded alumni class from Harvard Westlake.
Imagine you get Algebra 2 and you have to go lead off against Jack Flaherty.
I believe Pete Crow Armstrong is also a graduate of Harvard Westlake. And now here's Holman left entirely alone. That shot well off. And so Holman in her own area code gets a lot of time. She had time, she had time to bake a cake before getting that shot off. Just shanked it. It happens. Ends up well to the left of the net. Stays 2-0.
Just didn't catch it right.
And Holman, if you'll remember, had a shot in the first half that if it was an inch lower, it would be a goal.
Yeah, that was an absolute thunderbolt off the crossbar.
Here's Brigman for Rodriguez, the captain connection. Brigman for Valley, picked up by Light. Valley still guarded by Light, centering pass, deflected off Light, stays in play. Linan falls on it.
I feel like I'm getting deja vu watching this ball get played up this left-hand channel so many times, but the Mount is just not giving the Vassar that opportunity.
I mean, it's weird because Vassar for the most part, to your point, has walked the ball up the near sideline a whole bunch and then tried to work the ball inside, and that's where the Knights step up the defense.
Absolutely, they're just not allowing them to get that shot off the left.
Now here's Valley.
Off the right.
Valley gets it to Rodriguez. Rodriguez, that ball's still loose in front, looking for Holman, looking for anybody to get it out to. Here's Schotter. McLaughlin gets a foot on it. That one's deflected, and now here's Sheehan. Sheehan along the end line with room to work. Likely trying to get it towards the middle. Gets around, puts the moves on Light, able to come away with the ball. Good defense there from Hansen. Sheehan loses her footing, gets it back out to McLaughlin towards the top of the box. Sends a little flare, takes a couple of bounces, and wrapped up by Lenan. So the Knights, we have had our questions, admittedly, in the booth, but there is no denying that at least today, the interior defense has been quite good.
Yeah, absolutely.
That one deflects off the head of Hansen, will likely end up out of bounds. On now for Vassar, number 3, Sonia Franklin, and number 32, Braylon Tomanio. We did see Franklin in the first half. I believe Tomanio, this is her first appearance today. First year out of Alexandria, Virginia.
A little bit of a hike from here.
I mean, one thing we did notice, Vassar has pull from all over the country.
Big programs will do that.
And from Mars.
And from Mars. Shout out Mars. I apologize. I couldn't get my statistics right, or my sheet right. Maria Baldwin and Sophia Light have been unbelievably firm today in the central defense, and they've been really good at not allowing shots to get cleanly through on net.
I was going to say a lot of physical defense from Light.
And you'd love to see that, and I would not go as far as to call her a sweeper, but it's always good to have a firm center back.
There's Welsh, good pass. Now here's Tanko. Tanko, good pass. That's Schotter. That shot is blocked. Ends up well out of play.
And for anyone on the broadcast who couldn't see that was an unbelievable back heel from Tanko.
Absolutely.
Tanko from Kalispell, Montana. I was doing a little bit of extra research for the game. It's a gorgeous place to be.
She's also probably the only person there.
Yeah, really. A lot of really nice national parks in the area.
Oh, 100%. I need to get out there before.
Quite far from
at some
Boise,
point
but
in
not
my
too
life.
far from Idaho. I was testing my geography just a little bit there.
I mean, we've done a history lesson on the town of Sandwich.
Hey, might as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, why not? You know, in our defense, it came up. That shot from Light just high over the protective netting behind the cage. So Light with a rocket just high.
Just a little bit too much mustard on the hot dog, and it's difficult to keep that shot under the wind.
And I mean, if you're the Knights, 21-13 and counting down here in the second half. If you're the Knights, I mean, you have to kick it into high gear eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm watching right in front of us here. It's definitely helpful to be in front of the substitution box with the Vassar's queuing up a substitute for the goalkeeper.
An interesting call because, I mean, here's Tamiano along the Nike sideline. Good pass now. Here's Holman. Holman gets around. Barone fires. Deflected by Lenan and out of play.
Remarkable save there from Lenan. Such good anticipation to be able to stay with that ball and be able to get a hand on it.
And historically, one-on-ones do not favor the goalkeeper, but to your point, Bob, fantastic effort there from Lenan. Knock it off course. It'll be a corner kick for Vassar.
I would have to say, despite the 2 goals, the goalkeepers have had a very good day in between the posts.
Well, I will harp on this, and we've really been harping on it. The 2-0 score was really just on 2 mistakes. I mean, because again, I've said this just not too long ago, the interior defense has really been quite good.
Absolutely. The defense has been very, very firm today, and it's great to see as the Mountain are progressing into their season here.
And speaking of goalkeeping, in now to play goalie for the Vassar Brewers, number 2, Emily McMahon, a first year from Mill Valley, California. And I wonder, the strategy now, I believe, is just, get everybody in. Because we're talking about this with NYU. Vassar also has a massive roster, and just having that much depth is certainly an advantage.
Absolutely, and in a non-conference game when you're on the road, might as well make the trip worth it.
I mean, it's been for the Laura Shea, the sophomore goalkeeper from Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, faced 4 shots, at least 4 shots on goal, and stopped all of them. So I mean, you save the shots you need to save, but a pretty light day at the office for Shea. McMahon now on in relief. We're under 20 minutes to go here now. Here's Rodriguez putting the moves on. Vassar undoubtedly looking for one more. Here's Tondini guarded by McLaughlin. McLaughlin gets a piece of it. Sends that one off course. Picking it back up is Sheehan. That one rifled towards midfield. Tanko, good pass there.
That's a great ball.
And here's Schotter with room. Schotter works her way inside. Good pass for Tanko. That one just a little behind her. It's McLaughlin now. That one quickly taken back away. It's Mackey. Mackey for Milburn along the far sideline. Milburn guarded by Bringman. That one off of Brewer, out of play. Throwing it in now is Barone. Thought about trying to force it inside. Now does force it inside. Here's Tanko. Tanko for Mackey. For Milburn. Milburn has a little bit of trouble. That Karen's off someone. And now here's Vassar going the other way, just out of the reach of Sheehan. And the referee signals it will be Knight's ball.
And with this many shirts up front, there's probably going to be a tactic being employed here from the throw-in.
I mean, now if you're the Knights, 18 minutes to play, you're down 2 scores. You just have to find a way to get the ball on the net as Light fires a missile. Wow. So Light from the next county over puts a ball on the net, wrapped up fairly easily by McMahon. McMahon now figuring out what to do with the ball, and she'll roll it off to Astalos. Astalos for Arbin.
I feel like if you're the Mount here, you just have, when you get the opportunity, you just have to take shots.
Arbin for Tomanillo. Good pass up ahead. Now here's Franklin with a step. Franklin in alone, and there's a whistle.
Yet another offside call for the girls in Claret. It's been a common problem today.
And that one was, Sonia Franklin, you could have watched her run away for 2 weeks there. Just wide open.
Can't be doing that this late in the game, but at some point you do have to go for broke, so that's going to happen.
Well, Vassar has undoubtedly been in the driver's seat, but 2-0 is definitely not insurmountable. Now here's Holman, shot fake, tries to get around Baldwin, can't. Kicks up off Baldwin, deflects into the air. Here's Welsh. Welsh gets it to Tondini. That ball bouncing around between Claret and White alike. Now here's Brigman. Brigman for Sheehan. Now here in the lone is Rodriguez. Rodriguez centering pass. Score! There's Holman. So we were just talking about it. Ava Holman recovers nicely, rattles that one home. It is now 3-0 Brewers.
Man, and an explosion from the Vassar bench here. It seemed pretty, it seems obvious at this point they were trying really hard to get Holman a goal, and they just did.
There's Holman, a first year out of St. Louis. And, that one off the crossbar in the first half, we can put that to bed.
Yeah, I guess so. It is what it is once you bag a goal, right?
Wonderful job from the senior captain, Rebecca Rodriguez, to get the ball inside. There, she throws it up. There's Holman down to throw it down. 3-0 Brewers, 16:35 to play. And Bob, I don't know. That might be it. That feels like the dagger.
Absolutely, and one might call it a striker's goal. That was Rodriguez found herself in on the wing by herself, and Holman just hammered it home right on the doorstep.
There's Holman again, has the ball poked away by Light. Baldwin fires that one. Good job keeping it in play, actually. That's Milburn up along the far sideline. Now here's Sheehan. Back to McLaughlin. McLaughlin for Sheehan, far sideline. Sheehan gets the ball inside. Good defensive effort there from Light to knock it out of play. It'll stick with Vassar, however.
And an intriguing look here. Doesn't look like Vassar wants to come off the gas pedal. They're still pushing the ball forward upfield.
Why would you? That's 3-0, but that is their first goal of the second half. 3-0. You feel comfortable, but why not get more, right?
Yeah, might as well. There's not quite fireworks on the scoreboard yet, but we definitely have some firecrackers.
That ball's still loose. Vassar just absolutely dominating the time of possession. Tanko tried to come away with it, pickpocketed by McLaughlin. It's Tomiano for Holman for Valley. Valley back to Tomiano. Or Tomanillo, sorry. Now here's Holman giving chase. Good job there. Gets it to Franklin. Franklin tries to get around Baldwin. Does, but loses the ball out of play. Knight's ball.
And I can't help but to just notice here, Holman is extremely tall. She's listed as 5'11". Might be 6 foot on a good day in cleats. That is a very tall striker.
The Knights will go with a line change. Couple of starters back on. It's Tubbs, De Leon Portillo, Hansen, and a fourth I was unable to catch.
I also did not catch it. I apologize.
Here's Welsh up along the near sideline. The Knights, hopefully their new subs can bring some sort of spark back into the contest. Now here's Holman, gets the step on Baldwin. And good centering pass for Sheehan. That one deflected in front by De Leon Portillo. Out of play. A good centering pass there from Holman. Just unable to rattle it home.
Get into the championship rounds here. I feel like the Mount just needs to stay committed and go find a goal for Pride. Make sure they maintain damage control.
Fresh legs here for Vassar. It's Olivia Spector and Enya Halkovich on in relief of the two remaining Vassar captains. That's Rebecca Rodriguez and Lily Brigman coming off. And with 14 minutes left in the contest, you have to assume we won't be seeing them again.
Yeah, definitely not. It just seems like Vassar's trying to put in some unfamiliar faces to take them home.
Here's Tomanio for Franklin. Referee blows the whistle.
I'll have to say, despite the scoreline from this entire match, I'm very impressed by the back line of the Mount to maintain this offside trap through 60-plus minutes so far.
And that is one thing we'll hang our hats on today. I mean, Friday night it was a Washcoast performance in goal, and today the interior defense really has been quite good. I mean, Vassar has capitalized on mistakes, but that is the hallmark of a good soccer team.
Yeah, absolutely. There's only so much you could do when you're squaring off against a nationally recognized squad, but it's been a lot of green flags from the Mount today.
So the ball, of course, pinballing around, as it tends to do in soccer. Here's Valley now. Valley for Spector. Spector up ahead for Franklin. Can she stay on side? Franklin with room to run. Franklin one-on-one. Scores! And that's just the result of a broken press. I mean, that's what you can tell. Vassar's been trying to do that all game. And then Franklin gets behind the defense. She's home free. I mean, there wasn't anyone within 100 miles of her once that pass got to her.
No, absolutely not. She was completely exposed there all on her own, and it's going to happen in a forward passing offense. Sometimes you're just going to find it home, and it's a hallmark to putting through passes and trying to find a bounce and getting one that go your way.
So Franklin puts the exclamation mark on today's contest. 12:54 to play. It is Vassar 4, Mount St. Mary nothing. Now if you're the Knights, I mean, knock on wood, there's still some time left, but you're on the verge of being shut out in back-to-back contests to open the year.
Yeah, not a great start from the squad, but you do have to remember it's 2 non-conference games, so they don't technically matter towards playoffs, but it does matter towards the season.
Here's Franklin. She wants another one, puts the moves on Welsh. Baldwin quickly there to knock it away. Out of play. I believe it is Knights ball.
And protest from Vassar on a goal kick after they're up 4 goals.
I don't think you really can ever take your foot off the gas.
No, I mean, you love competitors, and that's just the hallmark of a great team.
Leaves it to the far side. Linan to the far sideline for Barone. Barone up the far sideline. Intended for... There's a whistle there. That pass was intended for more. It took me a minute to come up with a name. There's a stoppage of some sort. Public address announcer stepped in. It will be a free kick for Vassar. Anna Arbin from Temecula, California to take the free kick. Spent a lot of time there this summer.
Temecula, nice spot?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Huh?
I'd say so. I have nothing bad to say about Temecula.
There we go. Here. I see the ball boys putting in some work here. Shout out to our baseball team that has to work these games.
By extension, us, as a baseball player and the media manager.
Always.
11 minutes, 3 seconds and counting down. Faith Welsh on the free kick, over the head of Hansen, and out of play. The Knights, this has been a problem, I feel like, just a complete problem, is what feels like an inability to take care of the ball. I mean, every throw-in or free kick, it feels like they haven't been able to corral a single one.
Yeah, and that's definitely a difficult thing to be doing, and sometimes it's just you can't control the bounces when you're on turf.
Off the head of De Leon Portillo, deflects off Holman. Nothing doing. Linan wraps it up. Goalie kick coming here soon.
As the game winds down here, I will mention you will be finding us back in the booth this Tuesday 2nd at 7 p.m. against Yeshiva University, the Maccabees, for our Veterans Appreciation Day. Again, Bob Houck and Lucas Stackpole back in the booth in 2 days here.
Nobody's complained about us yet. 2 games. Here's Holman now. Holman puts the moves on. Stutter step trying to get around Baldwin. Does. Holman fires just wide.
Jeez Louise. Really close shot here for those who can't see the full.
And I will say, I mean, Holman, fantastic job getting around the defense. That shot was closer to going in than it looked like it had any right to.
Yeah, absolutely. That just barely curled away on the bar outside of the post. And sometimes it just happens when you overhit the ball or you roll it a little bit too much. You'd be shocked how much your foot positioning and finish can affect the ball.
Welsh sends it away. So we are back here Tuesday night. I'm looking forward to that, Bob. Thanks for clearing that up.
Absolutely. That'll be I believe our first Skyline Conference game of the season here. So
yeah.
That should be exciting.
Men's or women's?
This is actually a great question.
And of course, I mean,
it's women's. I apologize.
Women's, okay.
Yeah.
So we'll be back here on Tuesday for more women's soccer. A rocket from Alkovich. Just knocking at the door. Linan still there. You know, I was going to say something incredibly profound in response to the game we're doing Tuesday, and I just can't think of it. It just has completely left my head.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like, you know, as the broadcaster, I mean, I feel like you have to have something to say. Like, oh, I remembered. We've had almost 2 games, knock on wood, without a workplace accident. So I think they'll like us enough to bring us back for the 3rd. Here's Chloe Brown, fresh into the game.
It's hard to complain about the workplace. We're the only employees that work here.
Yeah, Brown up ahead, intended for Valley. That one ends up out of reach, out of play. Yeah, I mean, yeah, broadcasting's been good to us.
Oh, absolutely.
2 games in.
And I'll add to the mention that we will be here 6 p.m. Kaplan Field against SUNY Delhi for men's soccer Wednesday night.
Okay, yeah, so back-to-back. And that will be our first men's game of the season.
Absolutely, and I'm ecstatic about them. They just came off a 5-0 win yesterday against SUNY Canton. A massive rout for the fellas after a tough 2-1 loss on, I believe it was Friday against SUNY Potsdam.
So they've been getting around. This is just the first home game we're doing Wednesday. Is that shot off the protective screen out of play?
Yes, they played a scrimmage against New Paltz August 22nd. I'm unaware of what the score was because it doesn't show on the app. But
we won that game 9-0.
The New Paltz game?
No, I have no idea. I'm just saying if they didn't put the score then
25-0 actually. We set a record for college scoring.
25-0 Knights.
Scored some touchdowns and field goals actually. But I will say
we probably can't be spreading misinformation on a broadcast though.
No, absolutely not.
I realize that was kind of a bad idea.
I apologize to the officials that work above us.
The higher ups?
Yeah.
Baldwin working it along the near sideline, guarded tightly by Tomanillo. Tomanillo falls, as does Baldwin. No whistle. Ball trickles over the end line. And it will be Vassar ball.
Great sign this late in the match to see that much anticipation from your center back. It's very easy to lose motivation when you're down 4-0.
I mean, if you're the Knights, I mean, play to the whistle. I mean, it's incredibly cliche, but that's exactly what you have to do. I mean, under 7 minutes to play, it's 4-0. I mean, obviously not the way you wanted this one to go, but still a lot of time left. Here's Mahali for Mora.
Good feint there.
Mora's pass just wide. Tomanillo gets a foot on it, leaves it for Valley. Back to Tomanillo. Tomanillo is going to try and work it towards the near sideline. Gets that one to Ehrenreich. Ehrenreich way up ahead. It's Holman giving chase. Welsh will cut her off. Does so successfully. Welsh working with the ball here. Here's Baldwin. That one ends up out of play.
Can't catch up to it. And I mentioned again, Holman registers 5'11", and she has unbelievably smooth boots for being such a tall striker. Great on the ball.
Scored today.
A testament to it.
Welsh guarding Holman tightly.
Got smoke there on the wing.
The referee in with a whistle. He'll have a talk with Welsh.
Free kick coming from the left channel here. They'll probably be looking for Holman's head in the back of the box here if they can get the service in.
So Welsh, of course, getting a slap on the wrist. 5:40 counting down.
As it usually happens, I've never met a referee that prefers to give out yellow cards. That also was not much of a cardable offense. So I'd presume it gets annoying because you have to write it into a little notebook in your pocket when you card somebody.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, here's Valley now, towards the middle. That one low. The Knights able to quickly smother that.
Looks like the wind caught that one just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like just having to card someone and then they get mad at you. I just feel like that one rifled out of play. Hansen and Chloe Brown collide.
Hard can.
But I mean, I feel like you're just being inconvenienced. You have to card someone and they get all mad at you, and then you have to write like an incident report.
Well, I don't know if it's translated to college now, but at the professional level, you're not allowed to argue with the referee anymore on calls. It can only be the captain that can talk to him now. He's allowed to just immediately card you if you try and talk to him over a call. Him or her, actually. I apologize.
That's soft. I know you're like that. I know it's like that in volleyball too, but
You say volleyball is very specific. They'll card you very fast if you're arguing with referees.
yeah, I mean, respect the officials, of course. They're not always right, but they're never wrong. But I should be allowed to give them a piece of my mind.
Absolutely.
I'll keep that in mind next time I play soccer.
'Cause I know you play a lot of soccer.
Oh, of course.
My favorite 6'5" striker, Lucas Stackpole.
4:15 and counting down here in the second half. Your score still 4-0 Brewers. McLaughlin gets it from Brown. Back to McLaughlin, back to Brown. Now it's Astelos working it upfield. Alex Astelos figuring it out, trying to find the open woman. Does so successfully. That's number 12, Anya Holkovich.
That is a cool name. I do like that.
There's been some good names these last few days, these last two games. We've had some interesting ones.
What was the game? What was the last one that you were fighting with the whole time?
Alexandra Joki, I believe. But there wasn't a Z, H, or an O at all. It was like GJO.
That is
KAJ. It was insane.
As it's worked up the left-hand channel here.
Here's Sheehan.
Good ball clipped in.
Cross field pass. Smothered by Lynette. No, yeah, that one was tricky. I would be lying if I said I had an easy time with that. As much as I'd like to say, because there's this image of myself I have to keep up for the audience. But sometimes a tough name will get me every once in a while.
I do believe we were informed beforehand that the Vassar coach here was so gracious as to watch our broadcast, I suppose doing scouting as a coach does. And they appreciated our Wi-Fi password joke over Joki's name.
I mean, that's the first one I've seen that's like literally could just be a Wi-Fi password. Because I mean, people have unconventional last names. Like I'd say I have an unconventional last name, but it's easy to pronounce.
Yeah,
pretty straightforward.
Mine's a little weird to pronounce. Mine's fairly straightforward.
And to remind the folks at home, I'm Lucas Stackpole. On the call with me in the booth is Bob Haug.
Thank you.
In the game now from Mount St. Mary, just Angelina Robinson comes on in relief of Caitlin Hansen. Hansen leaves the field to a round of applause from the Mount supporters.
Hard work today from the senior captain. You do love to see a high work rate from one of your leaders on the field.
And Bob, if this were football, we'd be at the 2-minute warning. In certain parts of the world it is. Here it is not. 1:50 counting down.
I believe only us and Australia call it soccer.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, this ball's clipped in here. Hold on.
That one rifled out of play towards the Garden Apartments.
Corner kick. That'll be our second corner kick of the game.
Comes with 1.5 minutes left in the contest.
The national team for Australia, their nickname is the Socceroos.
That's nice.
It's kind of cool. They wear all yellow. I really like it.
All yellow. That's bold.
It's really cool. They do like a yellow and green sort of thing.
That sounds kind of insane.
It's very intriguing.
Off the foot of Tubbs. It's loose in front. Still loose in front. Good defensive effort there from Molly McLaughlin. And with 1 minute left in the contest, Bob, dare I say it, that's the best chance the Knights have had all game.
Yeah, definitely. Set pieces can be tricky things when you get bounces in the box that just come your way. Sometimes you have to put them home, and that one we just didn't.
At the very least, that feels like the most put together chance they've had.
I would agree.
That's probably the better way to put it. So here's Welsh. Papers flying all over the desk. 40 seconds to play.
An absolute mess here as Mother Nature is reintroducing herself in the last 30 seconds.
If you'll remember Friday night, the fellas in the broadcast booth had a lot of trouble with the wind. Ideally, hopefully that's not a theme. 20 seconds to play. Fielding it is Baldwin. Baldwin will send that one towards the Vassar bench. 15 seconds. A throw in here from Tomanillo, and that'll likely do it for today's contest. Sheehan juggles, gets it to McLaughlin. There to Valley. The buzzer sounds, and ladies and gentlemen, that's your ball game. The Vassar Brewers come into Newburgh and lay down the law. Your final score, Vassar 4, Mount St. Mary nothing. Bob, before we exit today's broadcast, just what final thoughts on today's contest?
I think there was a lot of good. I did say this last time, but I did think there's a lot of good. You played two really hard opponents in a 3-day span, and it is what it is. You're not going to win every single game. Obviously, a nationally ranked opponent, an opponent that's played in the national tournament in this past calendar year it's going to be a tough contest over the weekend. So I think if we regroup and come back against, no shade, but a weaker Yeshiva side, I think the girls will be ready to go to get their first dub of the year.
And Tuesday, we'll be on the call for that. That's the first conference game of the year for the Mount St. Mary women's team. And frankly, we're looking forward to it because, Bob, like as you put it, one, it's a perfect chance to get back up on the saddle, and two, it's a conference game. So, I mean, obviously these last two losses, they've been rough, but they don't count against Mount St. Mary in the playoff race. These Skyline games do matter.
Yes,
and
for our new folks back home or folks that don't understand, we play in the Skyline Conference in the state of New York, obviously. Skyline Conference is consisted of, I believe, 10 teams, or is it 8?
It goes from sport to sport.
Yeah, so it varies, but when we play conference games, just that conference game itself that we play will directly affect our playoff standing. Non-conference games like these will not.
And so Tuesday, it'll be Lucas Stackpole and Rob Hauk on the call for the women's team taking on Yeshiva. And Wednesday, it will be the two of us taking on the call for the men's team against SUNY Delhi. Bob, it'll be the two of us for SUNY Delhi. Okay.
Yes, it will be. I apologize.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for making us a part of your Sunday afternoon. Once again, I'm Lucas Stackpole. With me in the booth is Bob Hauk, and we will see you Tuesday night.
Thank you very much.